YouTube, welcome to my personal bankroll management seminar, training session. I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm going to explain to you how I do my own personal bankroll management. That way you can get an idea how that works. So you can see we click into it. The part nobody teaches about the bankroll management part that kind of annoys me is the fact that no one talks about the sizing. They always talk about the picks and, oh, take this many plays, and do this and do that. I don't like that. I focus on the sizing, which is going to be your typical percent plays. And that's what we're going to focus on here. So we're going to go ahead and jump on over to that first section right now. And that first section is obviously going to be what is the bankroll to begin with, because everyone talks about betting, but there's a lot of people that have no clue what a bankroll even means when people say this. A bankroll is the money you set aside to bet with. Simple as that. It's easy, right? I know. But the only thing people forget about is the second part of the sentence. It's the money you set aside that you can afford to lose, because you need to assume if you're going to be betting or gambling or anything, if you're putting money from your pocket into a book or to a casino or anything, you need to assume 100% that money is gone. It doesn't exist. It's a word. It's gone. That's what you should assume. It's not a number in your head. It's not whatever happens to be in your accounts. It is a number that you have actually predetermined that is going to be the money you can lose 100% and still be financially fine. It's not your rent. It's not money you can lose. It's not your food money. It's not Christmas money for the fam. It's money that is separate from everything else. That is step one. You need to get your mind around that. It is not your checking account. It's not whatever's left after payday. You get that? This is money that is its own separate entity. Got it? Cool. Great. So you have that. That's what it is. We move on to the lines that matter. If losing a play or losing any money causes you so much anguish that it ruins your week or your month, you're betting way too much. Simple as that. That's just the main thing. Betting is going to have wins. It is going to have losses. You got to understand those. Bet the money you can lose without, again, touching any of the essentials. You should always be able to pay your rent and eat food. Simple. So moving on, the actual goal that I focus on is to deposit one time at the start of the season and never have to deposit again. And some people say, Shaw, that's impossible. You can't do that. Nay, I tell you, because I have done this for 2 years now. Many sports and many people on YouTube that have watched me and many of the members in the member channel on BettorSheets have all seen this in action, because the way I do things, I explain it very clearly. So the goal is not to win big. Everyone's goal in betting is to hit a massive lotto play. They want to get rich and do all this, right? That's your, if you follow that, great. By all means, you do you, boo-boo. I'm going to do this. I'm focusing on to get the money to grow itself every day. Simple. Every dollar you send a book after the first dollar is supposed to protect you. Simple as that. So set the number. You want to decide the amount you're going to bet on. This is going to be your bankroll. You want to write that down, a spreadsheet, a note, wherever. You want to make sure that's your note. And then you want to keep it separate from everything else. I cannot stress that enough. Keep it separate. And then do not change that number. Do not top it off when the week goes bad. Do not pull out immediately whenever you have one great day. We will get to all the cash out part later. So moving on to the unit size real quick. So what is a unit? You hear the word unit all over the place in sports betting. What is your unit size? What is this? Oh, your units are nothing. You're betting $5 or your units are $1,000. It doesn't matter. A unit is a bet. Simple as that. It is not a dollar amount you pick because it feels right. It is a fixed percentage of your bankroll, the same play on every play, recalculated as the bankroll changes. That's how I do my units. Simple as that way. So when somebody says, well, what's your unit? Well, it depends. What day are we talking about? What sport are we talking about? Because units vary throughout the day, throughout the year. When we get to where we have multiple sports, it's going to be simple things. It's going to be, I might have different sizes, but for me, units are always 1 to 2% of that bankroll per play. It doesn't change. Now for me, it's always 1%. I do 2% on here because some people want to be a little more aggressive, and hey, I get that. 1% is conservative, 2% is aggressive, and that's fine. This is the whole range. We don't go 5%, 20%. Nah. I'll show you why we don't do that. Because why? Let's run the math real quick. Simple math situation. $10 is 2% of a $500 example bankroll. I will show you a visual that breaks that down for you, right? So we look over the same math as every size. If $10 is 2% of a 200, say you only got $250 to start with. Okay, 2% is a $5 play. 2% of a $500 roll is a $10 play. A $1,000 roll is a $20 play. 5,000 is a $100 play. It doesn't matter what it is. It's 2% of your personal bankroll. You should never be looking at someone else's bankroll thinking, oh, I should be doing what they're doing because they're betting more. No, we don't unit shame around here because everyone's financial situations are different from everybody else's. You don't know how much I make. I don't know how much you make. And it should be that way because it shouldn't matter. Got it? Cool. We move on. Survival. Ooh, survival. That's a scary one, right? What do you mean by survival? Let me tell you. Let me ask you a different question. It's not how much I can win, it's how many losses I can take. Every bankroll holds a fixed number of bets. You know that, right? If we do 2%, that's 50 bets. If we do 10%, it's 10 bets. Simple as that. Look at this. 10% of your bankroll is 10 bets. I just showed you this. 50%, you get 50 bets inside your bankroll. The percentage alone decides how many chances you get. You see, I said that. Chances you get because every bet is not guaranteed. There are no such things as locks. There are no locks in betting ever. I don't give a damn what it is. There are no such things as locks. And you should always be trying to grow the bankroll. Got it? Cool. Doesn't matter if it's $200 or $20,000, you get the same amount of plays out of the same bankroll. Cool. Let's talk about some survival when you have a cold run because everybody's like, oh, it ain't gonna happen. I'm a good bettor. Pshaw, BS. You will have cold streaks. And this isn't like 8 to 10 losses in a row is normal. You can have that happen easily. I am on a 7 out of 10 streak right now in MLB. One of those days was a heavy red day, and that was a lot of losses in one day. But of the 7 of 10, 7 have been green days overall. Now, 8 of 10 is not a bad run. It's a normal run because you're going to have this. It does this. Wins and losses, ebbs and flows is how it goes. And I do plus money plays, which means I have even more variability to go higher and lower. So you should expect this. Now, a bad run could be even worse than this. This is a normal run. See how that works? Now, the goal is the street doesn't care how good you are. It doesn't care. Losing runs are not a signal that you pick badly. We can pick up plays all we want. We're not the ones swinging the bat. We're not the ones throwing the ball. We're not the ones playing defense. We're just on the sideline. That's all we are. That's all we do. We watch, we make assumptions. That's all we do. You make assumptions and we put money on it, right? Cool. So the only thing you control is whether your bet size lets you survive somebody not doing their job on the field, the court, the diamond, whatever. Got it? Cool. Moving on to two methods real quick. Now, what do you mean by two methods, you ask? Let me tell you, because you're probably very familiar with the first method, which is known as flat sizing. Flat sizing is you take 20 bucks, you put it on every single play, no matter what. Simple. You've done it. I've done it. We've all done it many times through our lives. That's where people say, what's your unit size? And you say, oh, it's 100 bucks or it's 50 bucks. It never changes, right? It never changes. It's always the same. It doesn't matter how hot you are, how cold you are. That's what it is. You pick your dollar amount. There's nothing to calculate. It's easy. There's no mental game to it. It's very simple. The catch is it doesn't shrink when you're on a losing streak. It doesn't rise when you're on a hot streak. We want to change that. The way we do that, the other method, my preferred method, is going to be percentage sizing. You set your set percentage on the current balance. So if you have a balance, it's going to recalculate every single day at the start of the day so you know what your units are going to be. So why it works, the bet shrinks when you start to have a cold streak, it raises up when you start having a hot streak. I will show you some visuals with that. The catch of this, though, is you actually have to calculate it. Me personally, I use a Google spreadsheet. I put everything in there, formulas, boom, calculates it for me. Or you can use, one of the AI systems. They're all good at that too. So either way, it works. Me, it's once a day. Sometimes you can do once a week, but as long as you're consistently doing it, that's the main thing. So here you go. Flat. You put them next to each other. You can see it. Flat. Your bankroll is large and stable, and you don't mind using the same one. You bet a low volume. Some people only bet 2-3 plays a day. You might be that person. I'm not that person. I bet 20-30 plays a day. And you want zero hands-on admin. You just want to know, hey, it's 20 bucks here, 20 bucks here, 20 bucks here, 20 bucks here. For me, my percentage style, I'm building from a smaller roll and I'm trying to grow that roll. And I want that, I bet a high volume and I want to have the sizing to protect me automatically if I have a bad day or have a great day. Either way, it's mainly about protection versus the bad days. So we move on to what is a good run. What is a good run? We'll look at good runs and bad runs side by side so you can get a full visual, okay? Great. Good run. Bankroll. We're going to use a $500 bankroll for the example. Yours is your own number. This is example. This is my personal one. This is an example, so you can get your wrap your head around it. So it should be money you can afford to lose. I will say this till I'm blue in the face. Do not bet with your rent. I see this and it makes me angry. So don't do that. The unit size, we're going to use 2%, which means we're going to start with $10 a play. Cool. You've all been there. We've done this. You've all seen this. The rule, we're going to recalculate this every morning off of the previous day, right? Let's see how a good week went. Say you have a typical week where you say that was a good week. That means you probably had you had more winning days than losing days. In our example here, you see there were 5 green days and 2 red days. Of that, you see how the balance recalculated every single day, right? The balance started at 500, you made 50 bucks and went to 550, which means your next unit size is 2% of that 550, which means your unit size is now $11 a bet. The next day, you made $28 of profit. Now your bankroll size is 578. 2% of that is now 1156. You see how it's compounding, you see how it's rolling. But then Wednesday rolls around. Oh no, we had a red day. We lost some money. Now our bankroll balance is only 549. It reduced it automatically because now we're only at 1098. You see how it goes up and down automatically? It's beautiful that way. Thursday, we bounced back, had a great day, great, beautiful day, $82. Now we're to 631. Our bankroll unit is now up to 1262 per play. We started at $10 4 days ago. We're already at 1262. Can you envision how this grows over the course of months or even years over the course of a full season? See how that works? Uh, Friday, small profits. Saturday, a little bit of a bigger loss. If Saturday, maybe you had more plays. Maybe you lost some. Either way, in a 7-day stretch, you see how this works. Now let's stretch that bad boy to a month. Look at this. And this is a typical month you will see anybody post online. You see the Picket People post this, and you'll see lots of green. You'll see a stretch of red. You'll see that. In this example, you see how we started with 500 on the first on Monday. And at the end of the month, yes, we're only at 674. We only made $174, but we're only betting 10 to 15 bucks each. And the goal isn't to get rich. The goal is to keep the damn money in your pocket, because if you're not depositing, you're already winning, because this method, you never had to deposit. Look at what happened. Let's read it. You're up 31%. $500 finished the week at 657 without a single big bet. Not a single bet of like 50 bucks, 100 bucks. You're betting 10 to $15. You're up 31% based on this right here. That's a lot of red, looks like, right? You're still up 31%. 2 losing days in a week. The bankroll absorbed them. Simple. The unit itself grew. You saw that. Now we move over and take a look at what a bad run looks like, because we've all been there. You know you have, you know I have, we've all been there. So only problem is mine's online all day, every day. It's on YouTube. I post it every single day for 2+ years now. So you can see mine. Yours, you might tell your friends, it might be in the group chat, whatever, but let me show you. Same system, but now we're on a cold run. Now the run, exact same. The week goes badly. Same bankroll, same 2%, same 5. It's all the same. We look at this now. A week that goes badly, you start at $10 because you start with 500, right? Now you see what happens. You have 5 red days. Typically, if you have 5 red days, what's happening? You're going to be depositing again on Friday when you get paid, right? This method keeps that from happening. That's why I do it this way. You start with 10, you lose a little bit, you lose a little bit, you lose a little bit, you win a little bit, but then you lose a little bit some more, right? You see, it's like, well, I can't hit nothing. It's having a bad day. Now, this could be straight plays. This could be, parlays, whatever you're doing. Either way, ideally, I do straight plays too. I don't even talk about that much in here, but I do straight versus parlays because it's lower risk for me overall. So I am trying to grow the unit. That's the main thing. The unit is a baby. I'm trying to nurture it so it can grow up. Here is getting beat up. That's the main thing. So you can see after a week, you look what happened. You're down 13%. A rough week only cost you $65. If you did your normal $100, $5.20 piece, betting on $1,000 parlays, guess what? You're redepositing quickly. This way, you lost $65. Oh well. The bet got smaller, but you only went from $10 to $8.34. You can extrapolate that and make those numbers whatever you want based on your unit, on your bankroll size, but we're using the $500 rule here. So still, you still get 50 bets. 50 bets deep every single day. You get 50 opportunities. You know the chances of you going over 50 are damn near impossible. You know this because it ain't going to happen. Now, if you're doing 50 super long shot home run lotto tickets, yeah, there's a chance. But if you're doing 50 straight bets, what's the chances you go over 50? Good luck. It ain't happening. You have the same chance to go on 50 and 0. You know this. So moving over to discipline. What are we talking about? Discipline. Betting discipline is the rule with no exceptions. Never bet more because you're confident. I've seen this so much. I see people do the, oh, I love this play. Maybe I should put more on it. And what happens? Oh no, they lost. Happens all the time. You've done it. Hell, I've done it. I've done it a bunch. I've been betting almost 20 years. So I know I've done it a ton. Confidence is not information. That is just, if the play was generally better, that belongs to what, that's not how much you put on. No, The moment the size starts tracking feelings, you do not have a system anymore. You're literally ignoring the system and you're focusing on your feelings. You might even see you people like to let their own fandom get involved too. Like, okay, for example, I'm a fan of Tampa Bay Rays. We're doing baseball right now. So do I let my Tampa fandom get in the way? No, because I know sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Yeah, they're doing great right now, but some people will see teams and say, oh, that's my team. I know them very well. I can go ahead and double up on them. And then they lose. What happened? You let your heart get over your mind. You can't have that happen. So what chasing looks like. Oh, yeah, let's talk about some chasing real quick because I know some of you definitely did know this because I used to be you. I used to be you. Trust me. Trust me. I would get in a streak where I would lose and I'd redeposit, try to chase it down. I'm gonna get my money back. Oh, I'm gonna get mine. Doubling after a loss, trying to win it back in one play. That's chasing. Don't do that. Sizing up on a lock. Oh, because it's a lock. There's no such thing as locks ever. Pick a sport, you find the craziest upset ever. That was a lock too. Guess what happened? It lost. One bet at 3 times your normal unit, that's the sizing up. You don't do that. You stay within 1-2%. You're good. Adding plays late, betting games you never handicap. We've all been there. Example, college football. You have a great morning and all of a sudden the afternoon, evening just wrecks you. What do we turn to? Hawaii. Hawaii football. And you know damn well we never looked at Hawaii football, but guess what? That midnight kickoff, that's a get back game right there. I'm gonna get my money back. Or I'm gonna wake up and win with that, right? We've all done that because I've done that. So we all good. Topping up the bankroll, depositing again to keep the day alive. Don't do that. Don't do that. Have discipline because you should never have to deposit again with this method unless you go 0 for 50 in one day. It's the only way you deposit again. Simple. So the tell for people. You've got the people that deposit every week. They reload after a bad day, typically an NFL Sunday or whatever. The bankrolls, whatever's in the account. A losing week means new money in, which we prevent with this method. You never actually up. You're always just chasing. You're just playing. That's all it is. Your goal isn't to actually win money. These are the people that are always trying to hit the big super lotto tickets, which, hey, if that's your style, I'm not hating on it. That's just your style. It ain't my style. No problem. Our style here, the way I do it, I deposit once. The roll dipped, it comes back. It does this because the bankroll is going to do this too, just like sports do. The bet size moves. We have not sent another dollar to the sports book because you got to imagine your buddy's putting $100 a week in there. That's $500 a month. Guess what? You put $500 one time. You hit the second month. Guess who's winning? You are because you haven't deposited any more money. Epiphany. Boom. Did you see the light? I see the light bulb going off right now. I see it. Moving. There are no locks. I will repeat this again. This is some things you have to hammer in over and over again. Every play you have ever felt sure about, you have lost some of them. You have. You probably lost one this week. You've lost one in the past. I know you have because I have. There have been several times experts on ESPN sitting there on a panel and everybody picks like, oh, this team's going to win. And all of a sudden, that team lost. It happens. Happens all the time. That's why they're sports. So there's no such thing as a lock. This isn't pessimism. This is reality. This is record. Plays you were certain about and the plays you were unsure about both lose at their own rate. It's simple. Size them the same way and you let the volume sort it out. Simple. We move where the edge actually is. Consistency is the edge. As long as you're consistent, you can handle this. You can handle the waves. You're good. Let's go to the sports. What do you mean by the sports? Well, do you do one bankroll or several bankrolls? Now we're getting more advanced topics here when it comes to bankroll management. So most people, some people even do my method. They do the 1%, 2%, whatever. Great. The part is I go even further with it. And what do you mean? Well, I don't run one bankroll. I run one bankroll per sport. Whoa, I know, crazy. That's what I do. I am not equally confident in every sport. Football gets a higher percent of bankroll versus WNBA. I'm not as confident in WNBA. I still look at it every day. I still break it down. I still sprinkle some bets, but I'm not that confident because I don't watch WNBA that much. I very rarely watch it. Football, I watch every game I can. A lot of you agree with that probably too. So baseball is there. Every sport has its own level of confidence for me because of just everything I watch and everything I know. So that's how you break the sports. The money should reflect that rather than pretending it's all the same because I'm not going to put the same amount of WBA that I'm going to put on football. It doesn't make sense. So that's why I do multiple. So why split them? Confidence is equal. Bad runs stay contained because I don't know much about WNBA. I could have a bad run even easier because the stats are the stats, but you also have to understand the game itself a little bit to even have an understanding of how those stats correlate and how they work together. So you learn what pays, the main thing. So Like I focus on in baseball, I love HRs. I love the hits, runs, RBIs. I love taking strikeouts. I like taking hits allowed by pitchers and earned runs. Simple things. If I didn't know anything about baseball and I'm betting on it, what am I betting on? Probably home runs, things like that. See, you got to understand the sport a little bit. So what it looks like. So this is pure example, just example, so you can see it. Uh, Football, say I split the bankrolls up 400 on football, 250 baseball, NBA 200, WNBA, and then tennis. These are all examples, obviously, because I don't bet tennis at all. I have sheets for it, but I don't bet it. Percent wise, 2%. This is what it would look like. It all changes throughout the thing, and each one calculates. This is why I use a spreadsheet, because that way it makes it easier to, well, keep up with and understand too. So what each run runs itself. Each one has the same percentage. They all do the same 2%, and for me, 1%. It's its own balance. Everything has its own balance. And then everything has its own record and its own cash out. You're like, cash out? We'll get to cash outs. Don't worry. We'll talk about that. Let's talk about some scaling real quick. Scaling, when to move up. Let the roll do it. At 2%, the unit rises on its own. The balance grows is the move. That's what I do. I let it do its thing over the course of a season. It's going to do this probably. It's going to just slowly go up like the stock market does. Do not jump the percentage. Going from 2 to 5% because things are going well, like, oh, I'm on fire, I can't miss. You have a day you go 5%, guess what? You're going to have red, 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 red. That's how, you know how the betting universe works. Don't do it. Recalculate, do not decide. The number comes from the balance. You are not choosing it. Simple. When to move down, it happens automatically. Same setup. Shrinking balance shrinks by itself. Do not chase it back up. Do not reset if you top up. See, common sense things. Let's talk about race everything. Cashing out. You made some money, right? You want to retrieve some of that money and put it in your pocket, which is a great thing, obvious thing people love to do. Take something off the table. When the roll doubles, here's a pure thing. Say the roll doubles, you go from 500 to 1,000. Okay, before it was 1,000, you'd pick out 500. Well, now your bankroll has dropped $500. You need to recalculate that, because before you were doing $20 a unit, because that's 2% of the 1,000. Now you have to recalculate that, which means not only does your bankroll recalculate, that means your unit recalculates, which means you're back down to $10, which is fine. You can either do two things. You can reset it or you can ride it. For me, I kind of roll them between the sports. So, because every sport kind of overlaps each other, it kind of rolls that way. So ride it, you keep the unit climbing, you get the balance climbing up, it compounds faster, every dollar's still exposed. One bad month can take it back. That's how you do with the ride. Reset it, half the bankroll cannot be lost. The units go back to a size drawdowns get smaller, real terms, you can do it again. Simple, things like that. What you just did, your stake back, your original money out. If you took the 500, if say you start with 500, double it to 1,000, look at this. You take your 500 out, your stake is back, which means you are even. You are not losing money. Everything in the books is house money. You're playing with it. It's great. You're still playing, same 2%, nothing changes. And you, at that point, you got the money back, which means you never have to deposit again. You're good. You're simple. You're good. The wrap up. Last thing, the unit decides what you risk. The price decides what you keep. Simple, simple stuff. That's the full breakdown of how I do my full on bankroll management system for every sport. You see how I do when it comes to the unit size. You see what I do from the multiple sports, multiple things. And last thing I will throw in there, you should always be having multiple books. You shouldn't have everything in one book as well. You should spread out to do price shopping, because that matters more. I'm going to do a full video on price shopping, because that's a thing most people don't talk about. Everybody just sticks with like, oh, I'm on FanDuel, I'm going to use them, or I'm at DraftKings, I stay there. No. Watch any video I do. You will see I price shop every single play I take. I take the best odds possible and then I'll lock it in. So any questions, drop them below. Let me know, because I'm sure some of you will. If you're a member, come in the chat, ask questions. Let me know what you think. That's it. We are done. I appreciate you being here. Check out BettorSheets, obviously. But again, appreciate you, and I will see you on the daily videos. Peace.